Hare Krishna. Uh, we are concluding on the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Dhyana Yoga, or the chapter that specifically teaches meditation. But not only does it teach about meditation, but Krishna actually summarizes the different types of meditations in terms of what their relative importance is, what their relative hierarchy. And this is in the last verse of the Gita, which I'll read, and then let's talk about it a little, or you hear about it. Very, very important verse. Krishna says, Yoginam apisarvesham madgatenan taratmanaha Shadavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. Can I read that again? And of all yogis, the one who with great faith always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. The importance of this verse can't really be underestimated. The reason being is that it says Yoginam api sarvesham. Krishna is talking about yogis. Now, up to now, he's spoken about different types of yoga, karma yoga, action and Krishna consciousness, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, and he's also talked about Bhakti Yoga, or at least mentioned it. He's going to talk about it in detail in the next chapters, the next 6 chapters. And here now Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham. Now of all the different yogis, and when he uses this word sarvesham, all yogis, it means not only the yogis that I've spoken about in the past, but all means, well, all of them that I'm going to be speaking about in the future. In other words, Krishna is covering the entire gamut of yoga practices. Now, I know that a lot of my followers here are interested in yoga. And obviously, when you're interested in yoga, not just as a practice, but also, well, what's its purpose? What's it about? Why are we practicing yoga? So Krishna points out that yes, these yoga systems are, he says, bhajate mam. They're most intimately united with me. In other words, yoga is meant to establish an intimate relationship with Krishna. How to become intimately connected. Now, if there's any doubt that where yoga is about Krishna, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantaratmana shadavam bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. 3 times Krishna says, me, me, me. So there shouldn't be any kind of doubt as to who Krishna is talking about. He's talking about himself as the purpose of yoga. And now he says, and then of all of these yoga systems, they are not, and I've already mentioned this before, they are not parallel paths to the same place. Rather, they are incremental processes which build on top of each other. Karma builds up to Gyan, or knowledge. Therefore, we had chapter 4. Then, from knowledge, you have actual practice. You have Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga, control of the senses and the mind. On top of that, you add devotion, Shraddhavan, and Krishna mentions this word's faith. You have Bhakti. So it's what is called the yoga ladder, the system by which from one yoga system one goes to the other in the very same way as in our educational system. Yes, nursery school is education, grade school is education, high school is education, university is education, but there's a hierarchy, there's a systematic development in education. It isn't that someone with a nursery, I don't know if they give diplomas in nursery school, but someone who ever finished nursery school can compete with someone who's finished university. Obviously not. The two diplomas do not equate. So, but rather that they build, there's a succession. And what is this criterion for Bhakti Yoga? Krishna explains, and this was going to begin the next 6 chapters. Chapter 7 will begin with this verse, very important verse. Krishna says, Shraddhavan, a person who is faithful. He has faith in me. And as who? Well, in the 4th chapter, Krishna spoke about himself, how he incarnates and comes in this world in order to actually reestablish religious principles, processes of yoga, and so on. Shraddhavam bhajate yo mam same yuktatama. And now this person, yukta, is the best. All students are good, but who's the most accomplished student? The grade school student or the university student? Obviously the university. He has completed the course of study. He is now qualified to practice some type of profession, and he's really dedicated probably 15 years by the time he's completed university. So it's a very comprehensive statement that Krishna is saying here, and it colors the whole approach to Bhagavad Gita, and it colors the whole approach to yoga. So yoga here is saying, Shraddhavan bhajate, someone who has faith in me, and he does bhajan. And bhajan is a exclusive term, although people use it quite loosely nowadays, but bhajan is actually an exclusive term, which means systematic practice of bhakti yoga for the attainment of the Supreme. And that is really called Shraddhavam bhajate yo mam. That is what real bhajan is all about. Bhajan is not just about singing songs. It's not about hymns to Lord Shiva, for instance. Apologies to those who think that it is, or to Shakti, or to anything else. Those are not bhajans. Bhajan means Krishna. It means faith in Krishna, and faith built on transcendental knowledge, correct faith. A lot of people may have faith, but they have either impure faith, incomplete faith. We're talking about people who really have a scientifically, now I'm talking about yoga science, scientifically based faith. Faith in bhakti, faith in the goal of bhakti, the process of bhakti, same yukta tamo mataha. That yogi is the best yogi. Now, knowing this, and you can't argue with this book, this is where yoga comes from. Knowing this, which yoga do you want to practice? Hare Krishna.